This Pennywise Recaps, and today we're reviewing the drama romance 365 Days. Get ready for incredible plot twists. His father is the head of a large mafia group. He negotiates the sale of young girls. Massimo Torricelli looks through binoculars at a woman on the beach. His father refuses to work with live human trafficking, despite the discontent of his business partners. After finishing the conversation, he approaches his son. At that moment, he is shot with a sniper rifle. The bullet kills the father and wounds Massimo. A few years later, Massimo becomes the head of the family and goes to deal with the bankers who advised him to invest in a certain deal. Massimo has lost too much, so he decides to take the money from the financiers, but they refuse to share, and Massimo has to show dirt on each of them. After that, the financial issue was quickly resolved. Meanwhile, Laura Beale is in New York with the owner of the hotel where she works. A colleague of hers tries to blame Laura for the recent problems at the hotel, but Miss Beale cleverly gets out of the situation and leaves her co-worker to blame. Then, she goes home, where her fiancé Martin is waiting for her. The girl tries to persuade him to get intimate, but Martin doesn't care about her. Having settled his affairs with the bankers, Massimo flew home. On the plane, he was informed that someone had intercepted his shipment of powder. Massimo was upset by the news. Martin is taking Laura to Sicily on vacation. It is her birthday, and in the evening, Martin wishes her a happy holiday. At the same time, he behaves rather rudely. Laura goes to the bathroom and meets Massimo on the way. He is clearly not here by chance. But when Laura turns around, he has already disappeared. Apparently, he jumped over a low fence and hid in the bushes. The next day, while relaxing by the pool with a friend, Laura complains about living with her husband. Then, Martin appears and spoils the bride's mood even more. She realizes that her fiancé is a very bad person because he did not prepare a normal gift for her. Moreover, Martin thinks only of himself and does not notice the girl at all. They quarrel, and in the evening, Laura goes for a walk in the city. In one of the alleys, she meets Massimo. After this meeting, Laura woke up only in the morning, in an unfamiliar place. The door was locked. She spent the whole day in a room with nowhere to go to the bathroom. In the evening, the door was opened, and she found herself in an ancient castle. After wandering through the corridors, Laura came to the main hall and saw a picture of herself on the wall. Laura was surprised. Massimo suddenly appeared behind her, and Laura demanded answers from him. It turned out that she was kidnapped so that Laura would fall in love with her captor. When Massimo was shot on that rooftop, he had a beautiful vision of the girl he fell in love with, and thanks to whom he survived. From that day on, he searched for this stranger. His search ended when he saw Laura at the airport. Massimo ordered her to be kidnapped. Now, he intends to keep her locked up for 365 days. During this time, Laura must fall in love with him. If this does not happen, she will be released. To make her realize that Martin is not a good man for her, Massimo shows her photos of Laura's fiancé cheating on her. Laura is naturally upset, but she had a low opinion of Martin before. She is much more concerned about the kidnapping. After all, she had a different life, and she could stay with this bandit for a whole year. She tried to leave, but Massimo stopped her and made it clear that he would not tolerate disobedience. Laura heard him, drew conclusions, and acted in her own way. Meanwhile, the head of the criminal clan had other things to do. Mario said that their organization might have a conflict with the Gaddus family. However, Massimo does not care about this because he has kidnapped a girl and is trying to win her heart. Massimo finds a man who has ruined the family's image. He not only stole from his clan, but also sold girls to a brothel. As a punishment, Massimo promises to wipe him out so that there is not even a trace of him. While he was doing bad things with this scoundrel, Laura managed to escape and saw a moment that made her feel sick. When Laura came to, it was morning. Massimo was sitting next to her, naked to the waist. He decided to talk to the girl and explain that last night he had killed a very bad man. Massimo told Laura to get ready because they were leaving soon. After breakfast, he took her shopping so that Laura could pick out a new wardrobe. She bought some expensive clothes, and when it came to underwear, Massimo went into the changing room to see how the clothes fit his future wife. However, Laura did not like it, and she showed her temper. After that, she ran away. When she saw the police, she hurried to them and asked for help. but they saw Massimo and silently walked away. They knew who he was and didn't want to get involved with him. Laura had to go to dinner with her kidnapper. After dinner, she found her laptop and phone in her room. She called her mom and told her that she was fine. Laura had lied that she was in Sicily and had been offered a contract for a year, and now she had to stay here for work. In the morning, Laura woke up in the same room as Massimo. She went to take a shower, and Massimo followed her. As usual, he failed, and this upset Massimo. He ordered Laura to be put on the plane, where she was tied with seatbelts. This allowed Massimo to be persistent, but Laura offered little resistance. They flew to Rome, where Massimo had a meeting with his brother. Laura, meanwhile, tried to do everything she could to embarrass him. She even went swimming in a fountain. When they got back to the hotel, Laura went to Massimo's room, and he met her in just a towel. But Laura was not going to spend the night with him. So she tried to leave, but the door was already locked. Massimo chained her to the bed and forced her to look at obscene things. In this way, he wanted to show her what Laura was missing by refusing him. Strangely enough, Laura realized that she had not lost anything special. After that, he released her and let her go. Then they went to a club where Massimo had a meeting with some serious people. Laura was asked to wait at the bar, but she went to provoke Massimo into a conflict. When he brought his girlfriend out, she began to do stupid things and fell into the hands of the serious people with whom Massimo was meeting. They were members of an influential family, and they took Laura for a call girl. She didn't like it, and she began to resist. Massimo had to stand up for her. In the process, he injured one of the rude men. Because of this, the two families were on the verge of war. Mario insisted that Massimo get rid of Laura and apologize for his actions, but he was not going to do it. Laura was sorry for what happened, but she still believed that she had been treated badly at the club. She and Massimo started fighting on the yacht, and Laura fell overboard. Massimo rescued her, and when Laura came to, she was amazed by his actions. At the same time, she completely forgot that it was his fault that she had fallen into the water. Deciding to repay her savior, Laura allowed him to do various things to her. Massimo remained faithful to her for so long that his masculine strength was enough for many approaches. Later, Massimo invited his beloved to a ball. When they got to the dance floor, Anna appeared. Massimo dated her until he met Laura. Anna was jealous, so she promised to destroy her rival. Massimo took her threat seriously. After the ball, he told Laura that he was sending her back to Poland for her own safety. Upon returning home, Laura first went to her friend Olga and told her about what had happened. The two friends decided to celebrate Laura's return first at a spa and then at a nightclub. Here, Olga quickly found a boyfriend and disappeared. And Laura met Martin. He wanted her back and followed her to the house. Martin tried to enter, but Massimo was already there. When Martin saw the Sicilian stallion, he gave up. Laura attacked Massimo with accusations because he had sent her to Poland without saying anything, and he disappeared and did not pick up the phone for a long time. However, Massimo was in no hurry to explain himself. First, he did various things with Laura by the window. When they moved to the couch, Laura noticed a scar on his chest and realized that Massimo had been assaulted. She admitted that she didn't want to wait 365 days to fall in love with him, because she had already fallen in love with him. In the morning, Laura woke up with an engagement ring on her finger, and when Massimo asked her to marry him, she accepted without hesitation. After that, they went to the store to do some shopping and then meet their parents. They liked Massimo. They decided to have the wedding in Sicily. However, Massimo didn't want to invite any of Laura's family, so they wouldn't know what he was doing. He allowed only Olga to be invited. At the same time, Laura was not feeling well. When she met Olga, she told her about her poor health, and she realized that Laura was pregnant. She advised her not to hide the news from Massimo. Together with her friend, they went to choose a wedding dress. After finding the perfect outfit, Laura was happy. Then they went home, and Laura called her fiancé to tell him the news of her pregnancy. At the same time, Mario learned that an assassination attempt was being prepared against Laura. He couldn't get through to his boss because he was talking to his fiancée. When her car drove into the tunnel, the connection was lost. Right after that, Mario appeared. He hurried as fast as he could, but he was still late. Massimo understood everything by the look on his face. He realized that he had lost his beloved forever. Laura from Poland finds herself in the same tunnel she entered at the end of the first part of the film. She managed to survive, but lost her baby. She didn't have time to tell Massimo about her pregnancy, and he was happy because his beloved was alive. They decided to get married, and before the wedding, Massimo dropped by Laura's place to make love right on the table. Olga saw them doing this. She chased her husband away, handed her friend a lot of underwear to choose from, and went to the ceremony. Massimo and Laura were married in a church. Then the celebration began. When the husband and wife were alone, Laura tied Massimo to a chair to cheer him up. She undressed, took a battery-powered device, and began to pleasure herself in front of her tied-up husband. Finally, Massimo could not stand it any longer and joined her. Meanwhile, Domenico walked in on the girl while she was taking a bath. Olga was offended by him because he did not pay attention to her. However, Domenico managed to win back her affection, and they did things together. In the morning, Laura appeared in front of Massimo in a new look. Her hair was long and dark again. Massimo liked it, and they went about their usual daily routine. First, there was golf, where Laura putted her hole under Massimo's balls. Later, they went horseback riding and had fun in the pool. Domenico and Olga kept up with them, though their love games were more sophisticated. Olga turned her partner's body into a cake and wanted to lick it, but then Massimo and Laura came in and interrupted their experiments. Massimo picked up Domenico because they had work to do and sent his wife and her friend for a walk. Laura immediately turned on the bad girl mode and started to lash out at her husband for treating her like a thing. She can't live without doing anything. However, then she thought about it and decided that this was not such a bad option. She went with Olga to a restaurant. They had a really good time. After returning home, Laura put on her most beautiful lingerie and offered herself to her husband. Massimo was not confused and began to work hard. In the morning, Laura wanted to repeat their evening workout, but Massimo's phone rang. He had work to do, so he left his wife alone and walked away. Laura went to Olga's house and again interfered with her intimacy with Domenico. The latter was just engaged in deep-sea diving with Olga. The two friends went for a ride and some fun. Despite the fact that their lives had changed a lot, they still remained faithful to each other. They were ready to go through fire and water together. The main thing was that they continued to be provided by the Sicilian Mafia. When they arrived at a small restaurant, Massimo showed up right away. He took Laura and Olga away, and this made the girls angry. In the evening, Laura expressed her dissatisfaction to her husband. She would not allow him to control her and tell her what to do. Having expressed all her grievances, Laura was left alone. Suddenly, a Greek god appeared in front of her. There is no other way to describe it because he looked like Apollo. His name was Nacho, and he worked for Massimo as a gardener. Laura would have loved for him to trim her bushes, but she was married, so she was content with lustful glances. After a while, Christmas came, and Laura and Massimo had a very successful celebration. Massimo realized that his wife was bored because he was constantly busy with family affairs, so he gave her a brand of his own clothes. This way, Laura would always have something to do, and she would stop nagging him. Domenico didn't screw up on Christmas either. He asked Olga to marry him. All in all, the holiday was a success. Laura was so grateful to Massimo for the gift that she gave him everything she had, that is, her body. She laid out a whole arsenal of toys for drilling mines on the bed and invited her husband to use them for their intended purpose. Massimo was not confused and took full advantage of his gift. When they were done, they went to bed to talk. It was not a good idea. Massimo got to talking and told Laura that he had a brother. Laura started to get angry again and blamed her husband for not telling her about his brother earlier. Finally, Massimo had to leave. Laura plunged into high fashion and then went to a ball with her husband. Her parents also came there. Laura still resented Massimo, and she showed him this with her whole appearance. But with her parents, she was nice and polite. She wanted to understand how they kept their love alive even after many years of marriage. It turned out that the secret was in compromises. It is important to give in to your loved one from time to time, otherwise nothing will work. This option works for Laura. She notices Massimo with a woman on the balcony and follows them. Suddenly, she sees her husband cheating on her. Laura is confused, and instead of resolving the issue on the spot, she runs away. Nacho notices her in the yard and offers to help. Laura asks him to take her away. He starts driving his boss's wife to his house. On the way, Laura calls her mom and says that she is fine. Then she throws away the phone so that no one can find her. At home, Nacho started to prepare breakfast for his guest. He gives her his sister's clothes and tells her that he is not seeing anyone. Instead, his sister found a life partner and even got pregnant with him. Hearing about the pregnancy, Laura is overwhelmed by memories and she drops her glass. Nacho takes her in his arms and carries her to a safe place to prevent her from hurting her legs. After listening to her daughter's message, Laura's mother attacks Massimo without explanation and hits him in the face. However, he does not understand why he is being beaten because he has not done anything to Laura. Moreover, he has no idea where she went. The abundance of aggressive poles in his life begins to stress Massimo, and he decides to solve this puzzle and punish the guilty because he is a mafia man after all. While he is fretting over his wife's disappearance, Laura is relaxing on the beach, admiring Nacho's toned torso. In the evening, they watch a movie in a romantic setting, and a spark flashes between them. Massimo is already dating his ex. After talking to Anna, he realizes that she is involved in Laura's disappearance and promises to punish her for it. Anna starts to get nervous. It turns out that Massimo has an evil twin brother, Adriano. Anna meets with him to discuss the situation. They are told that Laura has left with Nacho. This is bad news, so Adriano eliminates the man who brought them the news. Massimo finds out that Laura is living on the island with Nacho. He knows who the gardener really is and realizes that getting his wife back will not be easy. Meanwhile, Laura goes to bed and dreams of Nacho. He kisses her in different places, bringing her to the finish line. But suddenly, an unknown man tries to enter her room. Suddenly, Nacho appears and knocks the stranger down. Laura thinks that the gardener has eliminated him, but Nacho says that the attacker is still alive and will be turned over to the police. Laura begins to realize that Nacho is not a gardener, and he confirms that he has secrets that he is not going to share yet. Nacho says that the fancy house and sports car belong to his father. He's taking her out for some fun. He and Laura go jet skiing and relax on an abandoned beach. The next day, they meet Nacho's sister, and while the girls are talking, he goes to talk to an unknown man. Judging by what Laura saw, the conversation turned out to be very unpleasant. After the conversation, Nacho went into the sea and began to hit the waves in anger. After that, he and Laura go swimming. Nacho teaches her how to ride a surfboard, and then they kiss in the sea. In the morning, Laura wakes up from another pleasant dream, in which Nacho makes her happy. But it turns out to be just a dream, and the real Nacho is standing next to her, watching Laura feel good. In the evening, Nacho tells Laura that they have to meet with his father. Massimo will be present at this meeting. Nacho tells them that his real name is Marcello Matos, and he is the son of the head of a mafia clan that rivals Massimo's clan. Marcello and Laura get ready to go to the meeting. At the entrance, Laura is taken away by the leader's bodyguards, and Nacho goes into the house. Here, Matos explains to Massimo that he was involved in the accident in the tunnel where Laura lost her baby. He wants to tell Massimo to respect the boundaries of the Matos family. However, Massimo didn't get the hint, and that's why Laura ended up with Nacho. Matos threatens Massimo to make him obedient, but his plan is ruined when he learns that Laura has been taken by strangers. He realizes that someone has intercepted his family's main trump card, so he goes to rescue the girl, taking Massimo with him. The two mafiosi arm themselves and go in search of Laura. At this point, she finds out that Massimo has an evil twin brother whom she mistook for her husband, and that Massimo was not actually cheating on her. Adriano says that he is going to get rid of Massimo and become the head of the family. Anna is also involved in this. She comes to the same place to tell him that she is taking revenge on Massimo for leaving her. However, their plans are not destined to come true because Massimo and Nacho find them. Adriano threatens Laura with a gun and acts like a madman. Massimo is afraid to shoot because he might hit his beloved. Adriano tells him that Laura lost a child in the accident. He shocks his brother with this news. At this point, she manages to break free and runs to Massimo. Anna shoots at her, but the bullet hits her side, which means that Laura will live. Anna and Adriano were less fortunate. They were immediately eliminated for life, but then Nacho turned the gun on Massimo. Despite all the hostility that arose between them, Nacho does not eliminate the head of the enemy family. He puts the gun down and walks away. Massimo remains with Laura, who is bleeding on the stone floor. This is where the movie ends. Thank you for being with us. Subscribe to the channel, like us, and be sure to click on the bell to stay up to date with our new videos.